So are you a first-time seller, or maybe you've forgotten and you're wondering, how much money am I actually going to walk away with after the end of a sale? It's actually the most common question that I get asked from first-time home sellers. The reality is that there's a lot of education for first-time home buyers and not a lot of education for first-time home sellers. So today we're going to talk about exactly what you're going to walk away with at the end of a home sale, so you know what to be prepared for in terms of when you go to sell your house. I'm Sarah Reynolds, and I've had the honor of helping over 5,000 families getting their home sold. It's so important to know ahead of time what to expect when selling your home. So we're going to go over all those details. So just in case we don't want someone taking advantage of you or you not knowing what's typical or what's not typical. So you're going to know going in ahead of time what's a normal charge and what's maybe a non-normal charge. This video is going to address sort of the fears of the unknown, right? Anytime I go into something I've never done before or anything, or really not done very often, right? Every 5 to 7 years, people sell a home, and I can't remember what I did last month, let alone 5 to 7 years ago. And so we're gonna go over all of the things to look for in terms of what should be a normal expense, so then you don't have to fear the unknown. So the number one thing that you are going to be, not really actually charged, but one thing that surprises people is a lot of sellers will look at online statement and say, okay, I owe $350,000 on their home. And then when the title company calls for your payoff, they're gonna say they owe $352,000, okay? And sellers will call me and say, no, I owe $350,000, I'm seeing it right now online, that's what my principal balance is. So you might not remember this, but when you bought your house, you skipped a month in mortgage payment. Do you remember? A lot of people forget, but they actually skipped a month in your mortgage payment, because what you don't know, many people don't know, is that you pay your mortgage in arrears. What that means is that you're paying your mortgage this month for the time that you lived in the home the previous month. So what's important, when you go to sell your home, you actually owe the bank a mortgage payment. So that mortgage you skipped in the beginning, which felt really great, okay, you actually now owe it. So you always want to add on to your balance a principal and interest payment onto the balance, and that's actually what you're going to owe for them to release the lien on your property. So that's number one, is that additional mortgage payment. Number two is the mortgage, right? We already talked about it, but the balance that's owed on the mortgage, you're going to add those two together, and that's basically what you're going to pay. And that's going to be on the settlement statement when you go to close. It's going to show those two amounts. Number three is prorated taxes. Now this is a little bit tricky because you pay it at closing. So basically they take the taxes. So let's say you're closing in September, okay? And you have paid 15 days worth of taxes, and the buyer is actually gonna pay the taxes in December for the time that you own the home from June through September. Okay, you're actually gonna owe the buyer that money because they're gonna pay for it on your behalf, okay? So you wanna be prepared to pay prorated taxes. Now, you might be saying, well, haven't I already paid that in your mortgage payment? Yes, you have, okay? Very smart. You've actually already paid that. So even though you're paying it on your settlement statement, you're actually going to get a check back from your mortgage company, typically 30 to 60 days after closing, for any of the additional money that's held in your escrow account. So the other charge, which a lot of people think this is the only charge when selling a home, but it's not true, okay? So let me bust this myth. Commissions is the largest charge typically in selling your home. So obviously you want to be prepared to pay a realtor in commissions. It does feel at times like a lot of money, but the truth is that those that actually hire a good agent will actually end up netting more money. So you do want to budget for commissions. There is no set commission amount, so I can't really address that because there is no set commission amount. So what I would suggest is that you interview different agents, you find out what they charge, and then also what they offer, because what they offer is just as important as what they charge, okay? But commissions is another fee that you're gonna have to pay when you go to sell your home. Now, most good agents actually don't charge anything up front, so that is a fee that's paid at settlement. So the great news about commission is that you don't pay anything until they get the job done, which is one of the only industries that's like that. Most times you have to pay something up front or some type of fee up front, but it's the only industry, one of the only industries where you actually pay once the job is complete. Okay, number 5 in terms of closing costs for selling a home is many brokerages have some type of administrative fee to handle the contract to close process for you. This is something that's been around it's somewhat newer, okay? And the reason for it is because of just the higher costs that come with like how long we have to keep files and how long brokers have to keep documents and all of the charges that come from just being able to store all of the things in terms of your home sale. And so many brokerages charge some type of administrative fee, but that's well worth it because they then have access to things as you need it in years to come. And you never know when you're gonna need something in terms of your home sale, and you wanna make sure that you work with a broker that has some type of good filing system, typically an electronic filing system, to keep your documents safe. So the next fee is a settlement fee. So this is from the attorney or from the title company, but basically they charge a fee for preparing the documentation, preparing your deed. A separate attorney does that, but there's always a settlement fee to handle that. So they write up a deed just for your home to deed your home to the buyer. So there's typically a settlement fee for that as well. I always laugh at this one, but there's a release of lien fee. Okay, so the mortgage company not only wants their money, they also have, it's typically small, like $40 to $75, but there's a release of lien fee that you have to pay that actually is paid towards to the county to release the lien on your home. Every mortgage is a lien, so you want it to be lien free when you sell the house. So you want that lien removed from the house to where you can then sell it. So there is a fee to release the lien. And then of course, I already alluded to the government, but the county typically charges a tax. So in Virginia, we call that a grantor's tax. Different states and jurisdictions call it something different, but in Virginia, it's called a grantor's tax. So the government will charge you for grantoring the house to a buyer. Don't you love that name? But yes, the government also gets money when you sell a home through grantor's tax. Okay, and the last two little things, and all of these are pretty small overall. The last two little things is typically a pest inspection is required. So they do need to inspect to make sure that termites aren't eating the house. And then if your home is in a homeowners association, you do have to provide what's called HOA documents to the buyer. So you will pay for those, and typically a community will charge anywhere between $250 to $300 that you pay at time of closing to provide those documents to the buyer. So those are the charges. Many of them are small, but they do add up. So you want to know sort of what to get an idea. Sort of just some round numbers. If you just want to know an idea, my recommendation is to take what you think your home will sell for, and then take what you owe on the house. And then what I would do is do a 7 to 8% charge, and that typically will include all of the charges I just went over. And then that is what you have at the end of the day to work with in terms of selling your home. I mentioned in the beginning how much education goes into educating first-time home buyers, but not a lot for first-time sellers. Our team is on a mission to change that, which is why we have 2 seller workshops every single month. They are awesome if you're a first-time home seller, and they're completely free and you're not obligated to work with us. So you can visit rtrfreeworkshop.com and look at our next dates. I highly recommend you get educated because education is power. You want to feel powerful when it comes to selling your largest asset. So go to rtrfreeworkshop.com and go ahead and register for our seller workshop. We go over the ins and outs, everything you need to know when it comes to selling your home. If you like this information and you want more about real estate, I would love it and feel honored for you to subscribe below. We are going to be pumping out more content, more information, more education on what to do in terms of buying and selling real estate. So go ahead and subscribe below, and also feel free to reach out and watch some stories of sellers, first-time sellers that we helped net more money through following what I just went over. And I'll go ahead and put those in the links below, and feel free to reach out. Bye, guys.